What's up, everyone? This is episode 33, Half the Story Podcast. I am your host, Andrew. Welcome back to the show. Getting a little bit of a late start this week on the podcast. It's been over a week now, but I've had this dang kink in my neck that goes down to my back, to my crack, all the way down to my toes. So I've been kind of laid up a little bit, feeling like an old man lately with the cracked back and stuff. So, yeah, getting old is creeping up on me. I'm already 31, so, but this is episode 33, so let's not forget. But yeah, I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit better. Woke up this morning, felt like I was 93. Been in love with a heating pack since last Thursday. Trying everything from a foam roller to a Theracane to a hot tub to a massage. But I went to the chiropractor yesterday and she cracked me up pretty good. So hopefully be on the mend. But yeah, I know a few people with back problems and I don't envy them at all. I think I'll bounce back from this one though once we get everything adjusted tomorrow again at the chiropractor. And so I go and I'm kind of new to Milwaukee, and so I find a chiropractor in my network and go to this place, and it kind of looks like it was still there when Jeffrey Dahmer was here in Milwaukee. Things really wasn't updated. There was their electronic records were paper records, so it wasn't even, they're not even in the 2000s yet. But the lady, I think her name was Jill Hood. Yeah, she cracked me up good though, like straight up 10 times on my back, and then did the whole neck twice, once to the right, once to the left. And I felt really good afterwards, but yeah. Woke up this morning, like I said, felt like I was 93 years old, and so I'm going back tomorrow to get re-cracked, and hopefully feeling better over the weekend. But we back, so if I feel like I'm a little low energy, it's because it just been dealing with this pain in my neck, literally, my neck, my back, my crack, for the last week. So I'm excited for this weekend. Hopefully get tuned up tomorrow and hit the weekend hard, do some partying at home, and maybe drink a couple wines, a couple beers, toss a few back, as they say. So but yeah, what we missed the haven't talked about the Super Bowl yet. Had a nice little party there with Big Daddy's Meat, MKE, Big Daddy Meat, aka Claybo, aka Clay. But yeah, he came over, him and his brother, and he brought some of them sweet and juicy, melty, what did he bring? Pork belly, burnt ends. So he made some Big Daddy meats, pork belly burnt ends, and they were very good. So what else we have? We did some queso, we did some guacamole. I ended up making some crab ragoons and some buffalo chicken egg rolls. Shout out to my time in the service at Hy-Vee Chinese on University Avenue in Cedar Falls. I was serviced there for about 2 semesters in high school, so I kind of learned how to make crab ragoons. Shout out to Lily and N Huang. They are the wife and husband chefs at Hy-Vee Chinese in Cedar Falls. So yeah, whipped up a couple of them bad boys, a couple egg rolls and crab ragoons for the Super Bowl. And what else? Chris made some brownies, some ooey gooey delicious brownies, and just had a good time, watching the Super Bowl. It was a good game. Thought Bengals were going to pull it out, but it is what it is. Football season's over. The new season begins with the off season, the draft coming up, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. That was the last game of football for a while, but I think there's actually, I stand corrected, there's actually a new spring league coming out, kind of like a minor league of football coming out. I want to say it's this year, like maybe April and May. So it'll be interesting to see if people latch on to that. It's all kind of like retread coaches and probably like a lot of free agents and stuff like that. So, I mean, they have spring football everywhere else, and in the lower 48s, especially in the warmer weather states. So it'd be interesting to see if TV networks and people. It'd be good. I mean, it'll be good, I think. And then let them boys play a little bit, and hopefully make it to the league. So maybe we'll give a shout out to, I can't remember what it's called, but it's not the XFL. It's something new, but there's more football on the way, so don't get your hopes up. But yeah, overall a good game to finish out the year with the Super Bowl. So yeah, man, this neck is it's got pain in my neck. But what else did I do this last few days? So last Saturday we had a jack of all trades, a handyman stopped by the house. We've been having a little bit of a leaky faucet, a leaky shower head type deal, and he was able to come over here, fix the leak. Took him a while, and yeah, he got the leak fixed, but he whistled, every second, the time he was here to the time he left. And we didn't actually catch him whistling, so we don't know if it was an actual human whistle or like he was pumping in stadium noise whistling via an app. My wife thinks that it was some sort of app, maybe to keep him on rhythm or something like that. Like, those like things in music like that tick back and forth. Maybe he needs like one of those whistles, like an app with like a whistle charm to like keep him, on track a little bit. So yeah, he whistled a lot and he fixed our leak, but now we got a different leak coming out. So just house problems, if you ever owned a house or ever, lived in a house, things go wrong or leaks happen, happens, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he came over and fixed it, but it was kind of awkward. Just like when he was here, he was like in our spare room, like drilling and stuff and cutting and stuff, and we were just kind of like hanging out, like making sure Walter didn't like walk in on him and stuff like that. But like there's this like weird sensation like when, and I don't know if girls feel this too, but like when someone is like coming to your house and they're bringing a bunch of tools, especially power tools, because things are about to get ripped up, if they have power tools or saws or screws or even a hammer, really, if they even look like they could do construction or anything like that, it kind of makes my ears perk up a little bit. So I was like, I can't have just, this guy coming in, doing all this construction on the house, cutting pipe and laying drywall, like with my girl here, And so, I had to go downstairs. I put in a couple screws. I moved a spice rack for Chris. Literally all it was just put a couple screws in the wall, but I got out the electric drill and made sure he could hear me, doing work down here, and making sure, he wasn't the only guy here that could, put some drywall up or do a couple screws in a wall too. So I don't know, like if you ever feel that way, or like if you have a friend and you go to their house and they're doing projects or something like that. You're like, oh, I gotta help you with your project, or now I gotta put up drywall in my cousin's basement because, my brother's putting up drywall, and now I gotta feel like I gotta, like who's the real man kind of thing, So yeah, it was besides the whistling, the whistling wasn't the metronome whistling. He was a nice guy. A lot of grunts and stuff like that, but like I said, he fixed the leak that he was supposed to fix, and now we've got kind of a new leak somewhere. So the search continues for the leakless shower here. But yeah, let it be known if you're gonna step in to my house and bring some tools and stuff like that. I want to get out the big guns too. I'm gonna get out the drills and the hammers and the levels, and those picture nails too. I can throw up a couple pictures too if you want to, go picture for picture, or I could paint some trim too if you need. So yeah, just had to kind of check them a little bit with the putting in a couple screws downstairs while I was here. I made sure to like what's it called, where you over screw it and like ruin the thread, so it like sounds like a machine gun's going off. Yeah, I did that just so he could hear me like, oh dang, he's putting up drywall in the basement or something like that. So yeah, let me know if you ever kind of have that. I think that's kind of a normal thing for guys. So yeah, hit the hotline, let me know, and let me just kind of know, like, people are doing a lot of DUIs nowadays, or DIYs, not DUIs. There's some of that too, but a lot of DIYs, do-it-yourself projects, and it is. I got some family doing projects on their houses and stuff, and it's inspiring. Sometimes you feel like you're copying someone, like when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna tear up this wall or tear up a carpet and put hardwood," and then you're like, "Oh, we should tear up the hardwood and put up carpet." So you kind of feel like pressured a little bit to keep up, but not me that much. But some people do, not me though. But yeah, let me know if you've ever had a handyman come over and what that's kind of been like and how you dealt with that, or didn't deal with that necessarily too, positive or negative. So yeah, so we had, that was Saturday morning, he got the leak fixed. And then Saturday night, we went to another comedy show, a gal by the name of Becky Robinson, and she's native to Portland area. She grew up in the Portland metro area, and she was we didn't know anything about her. I've only heard her name on the ticket, because we got some free tickets for going to a show a while back. So we're like, let's pick this chick because she has ties to Portland. We have ties to Portland. It'll be fun. So we got extra tickets, went with a friend, shout out Ben, and yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun. She was, if you haven't seen her, kind of like her big, is it shtick? Yeah, a big shtick of hers, or like kind of her thing right now is like dual personalities, like characters kind of, and she'll like do videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And so she came out in the show, like the opening part, and she was like a security guard for I think some band, and she was like a security guard, and she had like a DeWalt belt with like White Claws in it and like a fake wig, and she was like just pouring beer on everyone and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And then she came out as her real self, and did kind of some more stand-up stuff. And then her most famous character is, I think it's like, what is it? Sorry, I keep burping. It's entitled Housewife. So like Entitled Housewife is a character that she made up during the pandemic when she was living with her parents in a suburb of Portland. And it's pretty much this drunk chick that wears like golf clothes and stuff like that, and it's like a real suburb Karen girl. And like, so the comedy club here in Milwaukee is not in Milwaukee, it's in Brookfield. And Brookfield is not Milwaukee. Okay, if you drive past Brookfield on your way to Milwaukee, it is nice in the sense that everything is nicer, more expensive, um, a lot more white, I would say, and the crowd there was, demographically speaking, and I'm not trying to like stereotype or anything, but it was 35 to 59-year-old white women with their husbands, who they probably drive black Tahoes and haven't worked in their life, and their husband like has no idea what's going on. So that's the crowd. And when Becky Robinson came out as the entitled housewife, like the place, like it was, the roof was about to explode, because all these like middle-aged white like chicks like were just going wild because they can relate so hard to her in like country clubs and like getting drunk and driving like black Chevy Tahoes and stuff like that, and not having to really work. So it was pretty lit in that sense that the crowd was perfect for her. And it's kind of like one of those videos you'd see on Facebook that like your aunt who's like 45 and divorced would share, like who thinks it's like really funny, or like yeah, it was just the perfect demographic area for that show and for that character. And yeah, she was playing crowd work, and like at the end she was dancing and getting in the crowd and stuff like that. So all in all, it was a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to go see Becky Robinson, or even just look her up on YouTube or Instagram, her entitled Housewife Bitch, it was a great show live. Haven't actually watched the videos or the clips yet, but yeah, nothing beats a live show. The energy at a show. The person we went to the show with, it was his first time going to the show, to a comedy show, and I think he liked it a lot. It's way different than watching a comedy special online, or watching TikTok videos of bits of comedy. When you're there, you have the energy of the crowd. You got a bunch of Karens sitting next to you, like drunk off of Michelob Ultras and stuff like that. So, it was a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance, go see her, or just go see any live show. That's something that I'm learning that we really like, me and my wife, is going to live things, because it's hard to beat live performances. There's just something about the energy, whether it's a basketball game, whether it's a comedy show, a concert. I mean, it's a chore to go to them sometimes, but usually never feel too bad afterwards. So yeah, we went to the show, and then the next day we watched the Super Bowl. Great game. Touched on that already. And then Monday was Valentine's Day, and shout out to everyone for Valentine's Day. Even if you don't got a Valentine, shout out to you. There's plenty of love to go around nowadays. But so me and the missus went to Milwaukee Bucks game, because they were playing the Portland Trail Blazers here in Milwaukee. So that was it was a really nice time. Portland's our home team. Milwaukee's our second home team. But you never really forget that first one. If you know what I mean, you never forget the first one. And yeah, Portland, them Trailblazers still have a good place in our heart. And we showed up in Trailblazers gear. There wasn't many Blazers out in the crowd, but we were there, and Portland got the W, even though there are Damian Lillard's out. Their whole team got traded away. They still beat the Bucks. So all in all, it was a good night. Had a beer before, and just a great way to spend Valentine's Day with my wife. And I was thinking too, like sometimes when I was growing up, people were like, you'd hear on like someone would get inducted into the Hall of Fame, or, they would, get a award at a show or something like that. And they're like, I gotta thank my wife. She's the best person in the world. Like, I have the best wife. I would be nowhere without her. Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. And when you're a kid growing up, you're like, yeah, like it's hard to believe maybe sometimes that, your wife or someone like that can be, that big of a person in your life. But, yeah, I think as you get older, and if you're lucky enough to have the relationship that I have, I definitely feel that way. And if I ever get inducted to the Hall of Fame, I will make sure to thank her first. So, roundabout way of saying, I've got a great wife, and I had a great Valentine's Day with her. Yeah, I'm just lucky to be able to say that. So, yeah, it was a good day, and work's starting to pick up a little bit. This week has been rough with my neck, and it's not like, I can still do kicks and punches and stuff like that, but just turning my head a little bit just to look through the rearview mirror, that's what sends that shock down my spine. So hopefully get that figured out tomorrow, and maybe start feeling a little bit better, I'm thinking. So what else? Went and sat in the hot tub in the sauna the other night. Voted the other day. I don't know if it counts as a real vote, but I think it was the primaries for the mayor of Milwaukee, and we had no idea who was running, so we just voted for a chick that looked like the most progressive. So that's how we vote. Yeah, so it's been a good week. I'm glad I am doing the podcast, even though it's a little bit late this week, but it'll be up for you guys. You'll be listening here on Friday if you are. So, got a few calls this week. So we can take a few calls here. Let me see what else. If I'm missing anything. Yeah, we'll get to the calls. Okay. Got 3 calls to get to this week, so it'll be a little bit shorter. As always, you can hit the hotline. I keep on forgetting what my number is at the hotline, so give me 1 second. As always, you can hit the hotline at 414-214-0372. And that is, it'll send you right to the voicemail, and all you got to do is leave a message. Be wary, the messages will cut you off at 3 minutes. So if you start rambling, if you're, getting deep into a story and it kicks you off, that means it's been 3 minutes. So I think that's 3 minutes from when I stop talking and the beep starts. So don't look at your phone timer. I think it's about 30-second message. So just be smart. But again, that number is 414-214-0372. All right, let's get to the first call here. Let's see what this guy wants to talk about.
Hi, I was just calling to talk about the recent Oscar media darling, The Power of the Dog. Leads everything in Oscar nominations this Oscar season, so I looked at it and thought, I enjoy a good Western. So, that's...
I'll admit I've never heard or seen The Power of the Dog, but I would not have guessed it's a Western.
My missus, if she'd like to sit down and watch it with me, and that's what we did over the weekend. Well, as we sat down, and there's some spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear it, you might want to tune out, so to speak. Well, really what it was a slow-moving story of grit, perseverance, and well, subtle homosexual love.
Okay, that the last part kind of threw me off. Grit, perseverance. You think of that with country western movies. It sounded a lot like R.I.P. Jake Gyllenhaal in Brokeback Mountain. And funny story about that movie, Brokeback Mountain. If you've never seen it, it's got Jake Gyllenhaal and oh wait, did I say he died? Or Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, rest in peace. Not Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal. But I actually watched that movie, and if you're listening, let me know. I watched Brokeback Mountain in high school with my buddy Sam and and this girl I had a crush with, her mom. It was the most weird trio of movies. And it's probably not even legal to do that nowadays, but yeah, so I was like crushing on this one girl, and this was way back in instant messenger days, and her mom would always like message me every once in a while, and nothing like happened like that. I know what everyone's thinking, nothing like that happened, but somehow I ended up watching that movie with her mom when she wasn't even there, and one of my friends. So when we were like in high school, and that movie's about two guys exploring nature and their bodies. So try to beat that. If you've ever seen that movie, let me know if you've seen that movie in a better situation than I did. All right, continue.
Now, Andy, I don't know about you, but when I sit down to watch a Western, a cowboy movie, I want to see some gunfights. I want to see the sheriff go and get the bad guy.
Yep, and Tombstone's actually been on a lot on TV, and that's a good Western movie.
And I want to see some hot, plumpy, delicious. And in this movie, there's none of that. So I was just calling to share my disappointment.
Well, I'm sorry you are disappointed about that. Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow if you're expecting that. Certainly, we go in with the best intentions. You think it's a country western movie, people shooting up, people saving people on horses, diphtheria, maybe a case here or there, mosquito bites here or there, malaria. But you never, what I'm trying to get at is you can get that if you want in other sorts of media vessels, such as an iPad or iPhones or a Samsung Galaxy. If you want cowboys, and we all know the old adage, cowboys' butts drive me nuts, and that kind of rings true to this caller's I guess it's his disappointment that that wasn't included in the film. So a couple things you can do is, if you want some of that, if you want to add it in, check the director's cut. Sometimes they leave it out. Sometimes they say, it's not our target audience. Sometimes, people, for whatever reason, they want to make sure it's syndicated and they can't keep that in. So sometimes if you go on those director cuts, you can they'll kind of give you, see how the sausage is made, so to say. You get to see how that sausage is made, and that's what you're looking for. Try it out. It's something that would be my first thing. And second thing, if you want more of that kind of stuff in your westerns, there's probably parodies online. There's probably whole genres online. So yeah, I'm sorry kind of your date night was ruined, but it sounds like it's an okay movie. I probably won't see it. I haven't been seeing that many movies lately, especially knowing now the ending. Kind of you spoiled it for me, so I probably won't watch it unless, it comes out that, there's some deleted scenes or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know if that was a question or if that was just a comment or just, that's okay. That's what the hotline's for. You can just kind of, if you're mad about something, if you're happy about something, if you're disappointed with a new movie that came out that, Spider-Man lived at the end or died at the end, that's what the hotline's for. We can talk about it. And, yeah, let me know if any of those solutions work. Check the director's cut, Google search. There's probably maybe even a sequel out there, like a low budget sequel. Try some of that. Again, you can hit the hotline 414-214-0372. Let's get to the next call here. Okay, here we go.
Hello, this is Taylor, your brother, longtime listener, first-time caller. I just wanted to give you a couple questions, some things that you could really ponder and comment on. These are 3 different questions. I'll go through them one at a time. The first one is if you owned a 6-room yacht, like a big boat, what would you name it?
Ooh, that's a good question. If I owned a 6-room yacht, what would I name it? Because if you've ever been to a pier or a lake or an ocean and you notice the giant yachts, there's usually a cool name associated with them. And just right off the top of my head, I would have to name it something after Walter. Like I don't know, like the SS Walter James or something like that, or something. I don't even know what the SS stands for, but yeah, probably the SS Walter James, and then have the car ornaments, or like the like the Cadillac little they're like on the hood ornaments, and have like a pug head hood ornament on the bow or the stern, whatever the front is. Have his like a gold enshrined like hood ornament of like Walter, like a Hall of Fame shrine. So yeah, the SS Walter James probably is what it would be, and people would like look it up and think like, oh, who is this Walter James? He must have been a real philanthropist, or a guy that does charity, and it's actually named after a pug who is losing his teeth and definitely has breathing issues. So that would be what I named it, just off the top of my head. If I think of something better, I'll bring it up next episode. Let's get to his next question.
The second question is, what is the best Tom Hanks movie? And then, what is your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Okay, the best Tom Hanks movie is, dude, Saving Private Ryan. Because I remember I don't remember what year Saving Private Ryan went out or came out, but I remember we watched it with our grandpa who was in the Korean War, and I didn't really get to see his reaction. But I remember I always liked war movies when I was a kid, and that was a really good Tom Hanks movie. So that's his best movie, I think, is Saving Private Ryan. The time, like the scene, and you'll probably laugh at this, but the scene where he is holding the canteen and he's like tremoring, dude, that's great acting. That is faking a hand tremor, like that is great acting. So next time you watch Saving Private Ryan and he's about to drink from the canteen and he's having tremors, just think that's good acting. So that's his best movie by far. My favorite movie with Tom Hanks is Castaway, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but Helen Hunt is a real one. Shout out to her. Shout out to the movie Twister. Yeah, I like Castaway because I was like, it's always been like a fantasy to, like, when you're growing up as a kid, to like build a hut and like live on an island by yourself and like, you know, do that kind of stuff. So it was like always kind of intriguing, and I always wanted to try it, like Naked and Afraid and stuff like that. So that's a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember when the plane crashes, man, that's intense in that movie. But yeah, so his best movie was Saving Private Ryan, and my favorite movie is Castaway. And I'm sure I'm probably like forgetting a bunch, and don't hit me with Toy Story because he's a voiceover actor in that. Okay, I'm not saying that's not hard, but I know I'm probably missing like a movie or three. But those are the two that kind of stand out in my head, and I didn't try to do any previous research on that, so I'm gonna go with those two. Let's get to his last question here.
And my third question, what is your idea of an absolute masterpiece? Any media, any form, anything you could think of. What just truly nails you as perfect? Thanks so much. Love you much. Have a great day.
All right, what do I think is a masterpiece? That's kind of a deep question, to be honest. For me, a masterpiece is something, and look, I'm a strong, independent, you know, male who doesn't show that many emotions. And I don't know if this is truly answering your question, but a masterpiece to me is something that is almost a flash in a pan. It's almost, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's out. You can't put it back in the bottle, you know? The cat's out of the cradle, the baby has cried. Once, you know, a masterpiece is like a rainbow. You only see it and then it's gone. And you can't recreate that magic, because in that moment, it's everything you wanted or needed or thought or needed in that moment. Like, you ever have, like, it could be something as simple as a piece of pizza. Like, for some reason in that moment, it tasted like the best thing you've ever had in your life. Or you watch a movie and it's a movie, you know, that has a lot of twists and turns and like little things in the background, or like little noises, and it's got twists and turns, and someone is not someone else, and there's, you know, a big twist at the end. Like like a couple movies that I wish I could watch again for the first time would be Get Out, the Jordan Peele movie, and Ex Machina, or however you pronounce it. Because I remember the first time I watched those, I was like, oh my God, like, I have to Google what just happened. Like, those are the type of things that are like, that make you think so deeply, or like in that moment you can't even think about anything else, that you're like so submerged into it, immersioned into it, that you can't really think about anything. You have to like take a minute afterwards and go, okay, hold on, so what just happened? And music can do that too. There's certain songs that for whatever reason, on a day, on a, you know, on a day that you feel good, or a day that you feel bad, or a day that you feel happy or sad, that song will just hit you, even though you've heard it a million times, but it just hits you right in the feelings, and it makes you feel something, and it makes you you know, it makes you feel a lot, and brings whatever it is out of you. But you could go back the next day and listen to it or watch it, and you're not going to feel that way. So I think that, and it can be, you know, it can be any sort of media. So I don't know if I answered it, but I think I did my best. And the way I see a masterpiece is that you can only really see it once and you're in awe, because it's only in that moment in time that it really is a masterpiece to you, or it hits you so hard at that time, or it's something you needed to see or hear or listen to, that makes you feel a certain way. And I'm sure you guys have had that experience. So if you would like to share what you think, what is a great masterpiece? It could be, Jennifer Lopez or Jennifer Aniston. It could be, the Space Needle in Seattle. It could be like a 10-point buck or something like that, if you're into hunting. Let me know what you think of as a true masterpiece and what strikes you as a true masterpiece, because that's a good question. You can hit the hotline, give us your thoughts. The number is 414-214-0372. So I hope I answered your question, Taylor. That's kind of what I think of a masterpiece is. It's hard to describe, and it's lightning in a bottle, so to say, to me. Because one day, you can be looking at and seeing something and hearing something, and then the next day you hear it and see it, and it, for whatever reason, it just doesn't do it for you, So, we got one more call to get to here. Let's get this bad boy up. This will be the last call of the episode here. Here we go.
Hey, Andy. I just wanted to say you have the best logo of any podcast I've ever seen. It's by far the best.
Thank you. The logo was created and designed by Kimberly Brewer. I think that's how you say her last name. I'm sure I've asked her 30 times when I've been drinking, and I've gotten a different response. But yeah, she did the logo a while back. It is great. 1,000 thank yous to her, and I think she's doing some freelance stuff if I remember correctly, so maybe I can get her information for y'all if you need anything logos done, any graphic designs done. It would be good to help support her, because she supported me when I first started the podcast. So thank you for that. Here we go.
Also, your intro song is really good. I love to crank the bass up when I'm in my car. You can really shake a subwoofer, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean, shaking that subwoofer, dude. Back in the day, I went through about 3 Pioneer subwoofers. And if you know anything about Pioneer, it's that Walmart brand. So put that in the back of a Civic and talk about that, a couple subwoofers back there. But yeah, the beat does hit hard. And I have to give a shout out to the website called freesounds.org. freesounds.org. You sign up, you can get any kind of sound effect, any kind of music for free. You can download it. It's all unlicensed, or you're not going to get in trouble if you play it. So like, I could get a gunshot, I could get a fart sound, I could get someone playing a piano or something like that. So shout out to freesounds.org for their contribution to the podcast.
Anyway, what I wanted to ask you today is, have you played the Oculus Quest or any other VR headsets yet? There's a game that's out called Thrilled to Fight, and you can learn to box and then even go into the boxing ring and fight multiple opponents. It's pretty realistic, actually, and I was wondering if that game was out when you were like in your MMA prime, if that could have replaced a couple workouts. Because at worst, it's like a bad shadow boxing workout, but you're not risking getting hit in the head or anything like that. So let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't had a chance to try it yet, you should get one, because then we could go shoot up some zombies later. See ya.
Okay, I have played, I think, the Oculus. Our buddy Ben brought one over one time, and we to Big Daddy's house, and we played it. And dude, it for sure is a workout. I was playing like a a game where you throw on the headset and you're trying to kill these guys and you level up and you've got to like dodge bullets and plates and stuff like that, and then you're just trying to shoot these dudes. But after about 10-15 minutes, like, you're worn out, you're sweating, you know, you're taking off your sweatshirt, you're taking off your pants if you're with other guys, and you know, it is a workout. I haven't played the boxing game yet, so to say, but it sounds like it could be fun. I don't know how long I would play it because it is a workout. I don't know if I could substitute it for the real thing, if you know what I mean. You know, nothing beats the real thing of you know, do porn stars do VR and then jump in, or you know, you can't just be doing VR boxing and then try and box someone, because I mean, you could have that set on Rookie or All Madden, and that's a big difference. You know, a lot of people think they're good at Madden, but they play on Rookie. So if you're playing that boxing game on Rookie and then you go in there against someone who really knows how to fight, you could be in trouble. So I think it's good for people who kind of want to experience the sensation of fighting, but also want to be in the confines of their living room. So I think it's definitely got its place, maybe for older people who can't fight anymore. Like, if you were to do it in a nursing home and like there's two guys that have beef, you could just say, let's put on the Oculus and then let's squash it there. Let's not risk breaking anything. Let's not risk breaking a hip or anything like that. So you could settle it with the Oculus. So there's definitely a place in there. But for professionally trained and amateur trained, aspiring to be professionally trained fighters, I don't know. I think you got to do the real thing. I think you got to do the shadow boxing, and you got to get in there with some real guys, not some robots. So I think that's what I'm going to say about that. But yeah, definitely, if I get a chance to get on the system again, see about linking up. It's just hard. Like, you know, it is a workout. You think playing games is hard, bro? Try putting on a VR headset and boxing Muhammad Ali in VR. So definitely think it's a good workout for those people that just want to fight in their living room and stuff like that. But probably hold off if I get back into MMA. Probably hold off on the Oculus, but I would be interested in the zombie shooting game, because we know we love the zombies in the Munt household, Walking Dead all the day, and yeah, that would be fun to shoot some zombies. It's going to be interesting to see what VR technology is going to be out there in the next 5 years. I said that 5 years ago, not on this podcast, but it's going to be wild. It's going to be the Wild West of VR, I can tell you that. If there's a will, there's a way, and people will do VR with whatever, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm gonna end it on that. I think those are good questions, really good questions today. If you haven't got a chance to see that Western movie, I think it's called The Dog Pound or something, get a chance to see that. Let me know what you think is a masterpiece in your mind. You can hit the hotline. What about Tom Hanks? Let me know what you think of Tom Hanks and his best movies, worst movies, your favorite movie. But look forward to hearing from you guys, and look forward to seeing you next week. As always, you can hit the hotline 414-214-0372. Again, that is 414-214-0372. Any questions, concerns, comments, topics of discussion. I really have been liking the calls, so keep them coming. And if you haven't already, try and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Every subscription helps, keeps the lights running, and every view, every like, whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Soundcloud, YouTube, whatever, just means a lot. So look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care.